banditry might look like a distraction, but it's real. The only question is, what's more real? If you trace the money, you get the answer. As long as you have more foolish people than intelligent people, the foolish people will engineer the intelligent people, and the intelligent people will bow.
Are we learning something this evening?
Anything the crowd is discussing is the least of the matter. Now you have me.
Thank you for honoring our invitation. It's a privilege and to have you here. To have a Femi Lazarus, we know what it means inside this kind of room. Thank you so much. We clap our hands together again for. All right, so tonight we're going to be diving into disruption, audacity, building, and everything surrounding it. I'm going to start like this. Femi Lazarus is a Pan-African leader, he's a clergy, a podcaster, and a whole lot around that. So I'm going to ask this question. Who is Femi Lazarus, and who is Femi Lazarus becoming?
I think you gave some descriptions. Maybe what I do differently or what differentiates me from everyone is the fact that I'm willing not to play safe. I'm that person that understands you only get to live once. And at the end of the day, what you leave behind is what will speak. I've also refused to be boxed by nomenclatures, either ministry, Pan-Africanism, as you said. I have very serious passion for Africa. But beyond that also, I run businesses. I do all sorts of things to get my urgent 2K.
Okay, thank you so much. You said you're someone that don't play safe. You can't be boxed. We've witnessed that. But sincerely, I understand that disruption comes with so many costs, because what you do is like disrupting the system. Because, like I said, you are a pastor, an apostle, and what you do is not what is done. It's not something that is general. I mean, you are coming out of the box. So I'm sure you would have paid so much cost doing this. Can you just let us in into some of the costs? So I'm saying that to be a disruptor, because that's what you are doing. What are the costs you have paid? You are paying. And what are the costs we should expect if we want to disrupt the system?
If you can count it, it doesn't count.
Uh-oh.
So, see, there was a time I liked this girl. I used to trek to her house. It was not a price, because I liked her. So I don't see the cost. You see, I think maybe some of the biggest mistake people make when they are trying to build is the pause to count the cost. I have one simple mentality: do what you have to do. That's it. So yeah, there might be a few things happening here and there. You make mistakes here and there. There will be times you didn't get it right. There will be times you did but not understood. I think if you love what you're doing so much, you won't have the time to pause, to count the cost. Just do what you have to do. That's my understanding.
So, thank you so much. There's something I say, and in relating to what you just said, that if you count the cost too much, it might also cost the vision.
Yeah,
it will eventually. And I think that's the way I also operate. I'm learning to operate as well, that whenever I want to do anything, I think I don't count the cost. Because something I've seen is that once you start counting the cost, the impossibilities will start showing for me, and the impossibilities will overturn or overrule the possibilities, and I zone off. So I think, thank you so much for that answer. So we are going into the question straight. So I wrote something here. Why do you think Africa has no shortage of talented people, but still struggles to produce transformational institutions? So let me say that. What is the difference between producing successful individuals and building successful systems?
And thank you. Now you have me. So, first and foremost, I was so impressed when I saw that they asked us to network and we're trying to network. And that's what is missing. We've had this meeting in different places. If you look at individualistic performance in different countries, whether in the United States of America, whether in the UK or Canada, you see, let's talk about Nigerians, oftentimes at the top of the table, best doctors, best pharmacists, and and all that. We do well as individuals, but we fail as a community. And why is that? There's a man called Ngugi Watiango. He's dead now in Kenya. He described the effect of colonialism as a psychological injury. That's why he wrote the book, Decolonization of the Mind. Because of depravity and the things we've suffered as a people, we find it difficult to trust ourselves. And that's why you see that the philosophy in every family is, once you start doing well, you have to hide it. So even though the African community is built on Ubuntu, and that's the culture of togetherness, well, it looks like Ubuntu is only a philosophy until you start doing well. So I think it's because of the fear and the reason, because oftentimes we are from places where successful people are scarce. So everyone tries to protect their own success at the detriment of institutional success. So we don't get to collaborate because of the fear that is injected into you when you're in the process of building what you're building. So if we are going to be able to build better institutions, we'll need to break the walls of ethnicity, we'll need to break the walls of religion, we'll need to break the walls of individualistic performances, and then we're going to have to find reasons to trust the next person, you see. There's also another myth that we need to take out of the way, and that's the myth of ownership, particularly for business builders. There's just this idea that if you are the sole owner, it's better because you can maximize profit. But the business will have your limitations. Yeah. So it will have your limitations. And that's the reason why you collaborate at every level, you see. So if we're going to make it, for instance, look at what is going on in South Africa now. While the Afrophobic attack is going on, do you know that in Cape Town, that a white immigrant came into South Africa in the year 2011, and he had gone to submit requests for, there's a Cape Wall. None of you have seen that they are trying to build right now. So while they are busy fighting Ugandans, fighting Nigerians, fighting Kenyans, fighting Zimbabweans, the white community is already building a wall. Why is that? Because of what is going on at the Strait of Hormuz right now. Cape Coast region is about to become a very interesting place for global market. The blacks are not paying attention to that. They are fighting their fellow blacks. The whites have seen ahead. Now they are already trying to, that's why you see Trump is talking and saying that we've got to give these guys, we've got to grant them asylum. But behind the scene, there's a document that they are not paying attention to. They are fighting themselves. Now the Zulus are saying that we don't want those other tribes because they are not as light as we are. It's a psychological wound. It's the reason why when you see the next person, the first thing that comes to your mind is you feel threatened. So, and I think our liberation will be to the degree that we understand that we're not born in an ideal world. That has also produced some sort of competition instead of collaboration. And when you compete with a person, you limit yourself to the level of the person. So, and that psychological wound is the reason why no African country has won the World Cup. Because you can't win your Masters. If the same players are moved to France, they will win. But at home, you can't beat your Masters. But you can beat yourselves instead of collaborating. So it's that injury. But beyond colonialism, there's also the psychological wound of lack. And that's where we now have classism. That thing that makes you feel you are better than the next person and can't see anything worthy of collaboration in that person. It's an injury. So when the quality of individuals that we are becomes better, it will directly tell on the quality of institutions that we are building. And there we have it.
Are we learning something this evening? So I'm going to ask this. What is that conversation you think we are not having as Africans that is limiting us? So you've said a lot about collaboration, individualism, and all, but what are the other conversations you think are needed, but we are not having, and is limiting us as a continent?
I love Africa, but let's stay at home now.
Yes, Nigeria.
I think an average Nigerian doesn't know how backward we are when we compare our intellectual strength with other African nations. I'm sorry. I'm glad you've gone to America, but please try go to Rwanda. Go to Kenya. Just visit some of these places, Senegal. Just check some of these places out and look at the priority of the young people and compare that with our own priority. I must confess, when I saw people talking and networking, just that small sight was a kind of healing to my heart. Because I'm at that point where I'm looking at what is and where we need to get to, and I'm feeling that maybe we may not be able to do this in our own lifetime anymore. I think the most important conversation on the table now should be our priority. He's here. We had a conversation in Declassified where we discussed the need for us to build an intellectual environment. And that's the reason we started Declassified. It's not a spiritual platform. It's not intended to be. I'm not an apostle on that platform. I'm just tired of boring and shallow stuffs on social media. Somebody's talking about somebody, maybe whiskey is better than fella. I mean, there's a bigger game. Anything the crowd is discussing is the least of the matter.
Yes, true.
Your emotions, you probably feel you are in charge. One breaking news can change the way you feel.
Yes.
And someone is behind the scene orchestrating that. So we are still playing at the lowest level. We've not even entered the matter of geopolitics. We've not even entered. We're still discussing whether, I think, seen the alarm on social media. I even saw some of the videos, bandits coming out and flaunting money, and you have young people in the comment section and saying, show your boy love. And even the bandit was now complaining that in the past couple of weeks, I've spent over 50 million for giveaway. And then saying that as long as you have more foolish people than intelligent people, the foolish people will engineer the intelligent people, and the intelligent people will bow. All the powers that be are banking on the foolishness of our brothers who are still stupid. And it doesn't matter how smart we sound, it doesn't matter what we think we know, as long as they are more than us, there's nothing we can do. You're going to spend your time blaming the next person and blaming the next person and all that. But it's all a game. In the scheme of things, the crowd is considered like an ant-hill, something to be removed.
Sure.
But all these things are possible because of the priority of our people. So we need to as a matter of urgency, help an average mind or average African youth to prioritize the right things, to be informed, to at least read. Listen, guys, we are still discussing the issue of presidency in respect to security and economy, the economy of the nation.
Yeah.
Not in respect to his geopolitical standing yet. You probably don't know how that sounds, but that's a very serious problem right now. It's a very serious problem. And that's the reason why you can have an Ibrahim Traore, young, but that's the future of Africa. So, I mean, the game has worked in every generation, from the story of Thomas Sankara to the story of Julius Nyerere to the story of Madiba to the story of all of them, Patrice Lumumba. Once you have more foolish people than intelligent ones, the foolish ones will drown the intelligent ones. So beyond building our businesses, because if you buy a Rolls Royce in a slum, you're still living in a slum. So beyond all the things that we are building, we need to find a way to contribute intellectually to change the taste board of an average Nigerian. The taste board needs to change. And I think once we get to that point, and somebody who is shallow is standing in front of you, you can recognize and have better demands. You know, not that things have gone to beyond the lowest point, and now you are even discussing barest minimum like it's a privilege.
Yeah. Yeah.
Security ought not to be a privilege. It ought to be a right.
Right. Yeah.
Good hospitals ought not to be a privilege. It ought to be a right. Because you're a citizen. It's your commonwealth. Let me tell you this. Two things. Yes. But I'll share one now. If you ask questions in the other direction, I'll share it later. If I can fix a road in 2 months, and I spend 5 years fixing it, I can build a hospital in 6 months. But we'll use 2 administrations in building. That's 16 years, just so you know. Building that one hospital. Hey, guys, that's not wickedness. No, it's not wickedness. You'll be shallow to think it's wicked. That's system engineering. That's people getting you to get used to irregularities so that any other thing can pass. It's a schooling. Yeah. You're welcome.
You said something very powerful. I mean, everything you said has been powerful, but there's something I held. If the crowd is gathering around a thing, that's the most simplest thing. During COVID, I mean, it was the talk of everybody. I mean, everybody was saying this is COVID, and policy was being changed that most people didn't see. A lot. I mean, about 20 that I heard about 20 that I read. That's when the abortion became normal and everything. So now, what we are discussing now is bandits. That's what everybody is discussing now. I'm going to ask, is this a distraction from something that is currently going on that we are not paying attention to? I just want to know, is it an agenda being played out? Or?
I mean, we never know. But the truth of the matter is that you're looking at a military brigadier general being killed in front of the camera, retired generals being apprehended in the bush. You're looking at fellow citizens like yourself there. So it's real.
Yeah.
Let's start from there.
Yeah.
It's real. The question now is, what is more real?
Yes, what is more real?
But that this is happening is real.
It's real, yeah.
That everyone should be bothered is true.
Yeah.
Because now as a Nigerian, one of the very important questions you want to ask is, do you have friends that can contribute to ransom? No, now it is important. Yes. If you don't value relationships, ransom should be one of the reasons why you should value relationships. But hope you know I'm not joking, right?
Yes.
I was watching VDM, and he calculated, I think, 3 years.
Yeah.
that within so and so number of years, over 746 students. In some cases, they abducted 200 plus. In some places, 300 plus. Who does that? How does that make sense? What is more real? I give you a few. In Zamfara alone, between 2014 and 2026, they've extracted billions of dollars worth of gold. What's more real? That's the question. War, insurgency, insecurity, they are lucrative. What system produced this? Because if you deal with the symptoms, you'll be back to the problem. What kind of people have been recruited? Are they Nigerians? What kind of Nigerians are they? Because this is not the time to have ethnic profiling. Yeah. If that system worked in the north, it can work in the west. It just takes time. What do we need to do? And it's the same thing, even when it comes to the way we build businesses. We're always focused on ourselves, not the next generation. Yeah. But we are dealing with an enemy that is 50 years ahead, 100 years ahead. So I get what you're saying. Banditry might look like a distraction, but it's real. It's real, yeah. The only question is, what's more real? And who benefits from what is real also? If you trace the money, get the answers.
Wow. Are we getting something this evening? So, as a youth, young person, what do you think?
You're a young person?
Yes, as a youth, I'm a young person. As a young person, a Nigerian, now, what should we focus more on?
That's a very big question. As a people collectively?
Yes, as a people collectively.
Oh, simple. Information. What do the most powerful people trade with? What are the most powerful nation bent on surveillance? Are they bent on data? Information. Your digital footprint. Why is there a race about the moon, the satellite? Why? Let me just give you a vivid description. There's a simple illustration. Let's say, hypothetically, if I build a very interesting hotel as a successful businessman, and I invite my friends who are powerful people, get a friend who can get me other friends who are powerful, politicians across the world, future leaders, prospective leaders, get them to come to my hotel. Enjoy yourself in the lounge, have parties. Have one or two girls here and there. Enjoy yourself. And get you to understand that the girls are underage. Or we'll keep it for you. But also get you to understand it's on record. If I have that kind of information, I can get you to do anything. You can even lead your nation to war because of the information. You're welcome.
That's together as a people and as individual.
Come on. Forget about the people. If you see someone who has not eaten, it's information they will eat. Some people, because of the life they've been exposed to, they can never go for important things again. They're a product of nature and nurture. If you suffer enough, there is a way you can never think again. You have to understand affliction bends the mind. So people get to the point, and that's what the systems are doing. You suffer well enough, you re-strategize and focus on survival. So what do you want to do with data? Who needs your information in the first place? But in a way, I find the Bible way ahead in the sense that if the Bible says righteousness exalts a nation, it means if people don't have anything on you, they can't control you. And that's the reason why the systems forbid those whose hands are too clean to get into systems, Because if we don't have something on you, we can't control you. If we can't control you, you are too dangerous. So if you feel that in the next 10, 20 years, this is what you want to do, your journey doesn't start when you are campaigning. It starts now. It starts with who you talk to, how you talk to the person, what you say to the person, what you do with the person. Whatever can haunt you that you'll have to pay to keep quiet or to keep out of limelight in another 20 years, you want to avoid. Because whoever has something on you owns you. And at the topmost part of the pyramid, nobody is really fighting for contract. They fight for information. What we can have on each other, we can bring that to the table and bargain with. Soldiers will go to war for what they don't know. Civilians will cry for what they don't know. At the end of the day, it's just games. You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, FS. So I'm going to digress a little because of the business people here. We have business people, we have career people, and a lot. So I'm going to ask, as pertaining building. So there was a time I was watching that churches were doing 25 years anniversaries around different people. I'm going to talk about that. And I saw that. I saw 30 years. I saw different people. So I did the research. I checked for, people that sing, now not Christians now, hip-hop, secular musicians. So I checked the video, I checked Burna Boy, checked Olamide, and I checked something that all of them too rose up at the same time. Almost the same time, comparing their age. I mean, they are like the same age group, peer group, came out, their first album was released almost at the same time. They came out, everybody came out almost at the same time. And when I checked the churches too, I saw that peer at the same time. So that is taking me to this question. Is there, really, I know there's a time for building, there's a time to start. And so let me ask it directly. Can a man miss his season of manifestation? So I'm not saying that as regard to church now. Can a man miss his season as of manifestation, number one? Because maybe you didn't build when others were building. You got the vision at the same time, you got the idea, but you didn't build while others are building. Can a man miss the season of manifestation? And if yes, what are the practical things he can do to meet up or even overtake those that have been there? Because I've seen that if you don't take your idea when you're supposed to take it, those that will take it at that time might later become your mentor. No matter the age, no matter everything, because no matter. So how do you do that to meet up and also, yes, you might have been late, but what do you do practically?
There are ways to look at it. There are people who missed the season to build their brands and whatever it is they want to build. First, because they did not grow up in an environment that is accustomed to building. They grew up in places where every other person relied on what was built. Because building requires delayed gratification. So there must be a pattern of sacrifice on ground. Then another thing is that people get to inherit other people's bias, their fears, their nuances. And then so what determines the season for a thing is not the time or the calendar, it's the opportunities around. So when you miss that season, you're also missing that window of opportunity. That opportunity could be the time that you have the quality of time to sit with it, or the quality of people around you, whose labor you can afford at that time. These are two different things. So when you miss it, usually there are other windows, but I've said it again and again. That's the way life is designed. The courageous will always lead the gifted. That's the way life works. So the one who is audacious to start it will mentor the one who knows much but didn't start. Eventually, nobody cares. That's the way things are. Well, Light Nation will be 8 years this week. But I started 7 years late. So if you sit with it with all your life, you will catch up.
If you sit with it with all your life, you will catch up. I was going to ask questions regarding that. But I'm going to ask this. So, at different stages, we cannot. So, when we talk about do this thing, you can start anyhow, just start the way you like. I know that that is not a language for everybody. Because I think you might have gotten to a level that you can't just start anyhow. I mean, so I want to say that maybe you have missed your season of lion and beard. Now you need to confront Goliath.
You can only not start anyhow when you have a name.
Okay.
If you don't have a name, start anyhow. Make the mistakes. Nobody knows you. Nobody cares. Yes. And that's why the most important thing to have first is a name. And that requires track record. In as much as you don't have that name, okay, start. Somebody said that this business we deal with you, it didn't work. We're going to arrest you. It is one that has name that is in trouble. True. That's the truth. The truth is that we prioritize having everything put together and just start. Make your mistakes. It doesn't matter. You will recover. And that tells us, and I want to say this to everyone, please be kind to yourself. Don't just show others kindness. Be kind towards yourself. Allow yourself, please. That's it. All right? You fall, you rise, pick yourself again, bounce back, try it again. The one who is trying is more experienced than the one who is trying to start perfectly.
So you said, Light Nation, we are celebrating 8 years now. It was supposed to start about 15 years ago now, right?
Yeah.
7 years, you were 7 years late. But I understand that, I mean, I know the place of grace, really, grace and everything. But I still want to dig deep into doing this with all your life. What are the requirements? Doing this, building this within 8 years, and it's like this, and so many other things. How do we build with the whole life, flesh and blood, water? How do we build correctly, courageously?
What could I have done in 8 years alone? It's teamwork. It's teamwork. You see anything because we have people who are working also, who believe in the vision. So the issue is that nobody who follow you believe in the vision more than you. And the level of sacrifice you're willing to pay is a reflection of how much you believe in the vision. So when they see that, nobody wants to hang around what doesn't have a future for them. Loyalty is expensive. It's not cheap. People are loyal to you. Their life is in the balance. The children, everything they will become. So I don't think of myself as doing anything special. I just recognize the right people, know how to train the right team, and work together. It's teamwork.
Thank you so much, AFL. Teamwork. I was privileged to be part of a class you had, and you were talking about those that will build with you must be people that are ready to work beyond 8 to 5. You cannot build anything tangible with just 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, as the case may be. How do you recognize those kind of people? How do you have them in your team?
That statement is not cheap.
Thank you.
If I need someone that can believe in me enough to work beyond 9 to 5, it means I must be able to give them what 9 to 5 can't give them. No value is cheap. No value is cheap. I think it's garbage in, garbage out. If you are committed towards people's growth and development, they will commit back in return. So my custom is not to use people, but we can have mutual relationship and then build together, while in the process make sure the exit door is wide. So if they have to build something, you also support them to do it.
Thank you so much for saying that. If they have to build something,
Yes.
support them in building that.
Teamwork is not ownership, right?
Yes.
You don't want to own people. You'll have to manipulate people to own them. You want to love them and build with them. If there's anyone that does something, let's say some of our technical work, if you do a lot of videos, video editing, all those technical tech work, I don't expect anybody in that regard to work with me for more than 5 years, except if I can afford their worth in the next 5 years. They ought to have outgrown, but I also grow to prove that I deserve them.
Well, you just answered a question I was going to ask you. That can a follower outgrow a leader?
Yes, no. Anytime.
Anytime.
You can. You've outgrown me.
No.
I'm here at your service.
No. I'm asking that question because maybe in the workplace or in the religious settings and all. So, like I said, if a follower can outgrow a leader, what should the follower do? Number one. Because I know that, people might want to stay because of sentiment that, okay, this is my leader. When there was nothing, this person was there and all these things and all. But when it gets to a certain stage and you feel like, maybe in a religious setting, you feel like, no, this is no longer for me. I feel there can be more. But maybe because of some bias, what should the follower do or the worker?
I don't know. You're trying to put me in the spot, right? So, there's room for overtaking. John C. Maxwell said, 2 things I want to quote. Number 1, you don't put living eggs under dead chicken. And number 2, a tree that is not taller than you cannot shade you. That's a very important word. I'm sorry. And that's why I'm very careful about putting my thoughts out there, because we're in a very traditional environment, and also an environment that is, of course, people are injured. So what you are saying and what is being received can be 2 different things. But I must say that leadership in itself is a responsibility. We, for instance, were building new organizations, and to each of those new organizations, it's new window of employment. The fact that we keep building is the proof that I can accommodate you in that vision. So there are 2 ways to it. So for instance, I may have a better accommodation for you in what I've built than your entire building. You may have your time, but I have the leadership and the discipline to help your skill produce for you under my vision more than it can produce for you under your vision. That's the reason why the fact that you are skilled doesn't mean you are necessarily a great builder.
Wow.
Because you can be skilled in something, but don't have the character to build what is durable. In fact, for some reasons, I started checking some organizations. I saw some very interesting boys building some years ago, and none of them is still existing now. They've all closed down. The idea is not, I want to own. Let me give you this. So he's a professor from Canada. He's also a pastor in Light Nation. He's also my friend. But I'm also a student. Because I've seen something that he's doing. If I don't humble myself to learn, I'll be in trouble. One of the biggest mistakes we make is that individualistic thing.
So you spoke about friends, friendship now. One of the important questions I want to ask you, because seeing you over the years too, I see that I see the power of friendship, and I see that you still have friends you can relate to it. Oh, this was my friend. We've been coming way back 15 years, way back 20 years, way back those years. How do you choose your friends?
Mutual values, right?
Yes.
One time, a friend of mine was being dragged online because our business somehow went south. Then another friend reached out and said, "You should not identify with this woman." When he said that, then I knew my friend. Do you get it?
Yes.
Who among them do you think is my friend?
The one that is being tried.
The woman. Because this other one has shown me that if I face shame, I won't be there for you. You see, when you are choosing your friend, you have to put it at the back of your mind. If this fellow is going to the pit, you're going there to help. Anybody who can only relate with the best version of you is a dangerous person. You know, a friend of mine, one time, said to me, he said, the reason why many people are naive is because they don't have dedicated enemies. Let's assume someone brings something out now to blackmail you now, and is everywhere online. Who is that one friend in your life now that can say, I know him, and I'm ready to put my integrity on the line? So you may find out that you have just acquaintances, no friends. So this is beyond mutual value now.
Yeah.
You need to have people that will leave the peak of the mountain to drag you from the valley, if need be. Because that's life. Everybody will collect. It's just a matter of when.
That's a very serious one. Because I'm even thinking about myself. Do I have that kind? So, is it possible to outgrow your friends? Yeah, okay. Let me just do that.
It depends. If you are friends, does money matter? We're talking in respect to thinking, of course, possible. But any other thing, does it really matter since you're sharing together?
So, in thinking, if you outgrow your friend, I mean, will there still be that mutual relationship if you feel like, oh, the way you're raising is different? I mean, because maybe you open yourself to growth, and I know that, I mean, as good friends, you have to push each other into that. But if the other party is not growing and you're growing, even when you're not speaking it, the other person is already feeling like, okay, dragging back. The other person is dragging because he feels like, oh, this person is now not monitoring, now maybe thinking and all. What do you do in that kind of situation?
Wherever knowledge is scarce, low self-esteem fills the gap. So if one person is not growing in terms of knowledge, naturally they fall off. That's just the way it happens. But again, I heard Apostle Selman's statement that if you have 4 fools as friends, you didn't count well, there are 5 fools. And that's true. So, but the way life works, water finds its level, right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Efe. So, like we do, I'm going to take 2 questions before we continue. So, after now, we enter into the wealth part, ask questions about finance, then probably a bit of audacity, and we round it off from there.
It's one question, but
Yes.
I'll just sneak one in again.
Yes,
And the
please.
first one is, Thank you for the classified podcast.
Thank you.
I really love you.
Wow.
I'm not a
Thank
member
you.
of Light Nation. But
Thank
I've been
you.
following
Thank
your
you.
podcast.
Thank you.
And there's one quality that I saw. Is the fact that you always resist the urge to influence people with your opinion.
Yeah.
I need to learn how to do that. I'm trying. Okay, and the second one, you said something, the question you asked. Thank you for asking those questions. There have been questions that I've had. I struggle, and I feel guilty about it. I struggle employing my friends. Like, I've had like bad, experiences before, and it always hurts so bad. It's better someone else did the same thing. So I'd rather give you money to go start up something than bring you in my personal space, because I don't know. So I guess over the years, I probably have hurt some innocent friends and not give them the opportunity. So what's your advice for me?
Amazing. First and foremost, thank you. The first question, there are scars for that. I think in not trying to influence people's opinion, that's where the strength to influence it lies. Because once you can create an environment where people can be themselves in the most natural state, you have them. Then you know what to do. So, the second part, I think, whether employing friends or foes, I think that's why a lawyer is there to protect the both of you. And it also depends on the maturity of the person. I have very complex relationships. I have friends that we work together. He's my friend. You can see us play, laugh, joke. But once we come to Light Nation, I'm in charge. It's possible, not just because of my person, but because of their person. So you have to identify that friend that is not possible with. And that person will have to suffer for the foolishness. So yeah.
All right, so please give him the mic, but before you talk, he's one of our partners for TWBS Time of Bishop Shane. He's been part of us, so thank you so much.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Apostle, for the session. All right. I'm building something, and I remember when we started, I had to pick up the philosophy of jumping into the ocean, learning how to swim in the process. But we're at the phase of scaling, and there's something you mentioned when he asked about getting to see the cost or the price, and say not having the time to even count the cost. So what do you do when it seems like you're stuck? How do you, of course there'll be a way out, but that phase when it seems
Is
to
it
be
in
like
building
you're
a
stuck?
business?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a law around that. 70% of organizations hit the brick wall in the first 5 years. Only another 10% make it out alive. It's a very serious one. So, for instance, in order for me to avoid that, there are 3 things I've learned to do. Number 1 is to work with professionals. That will help me. They can see ahead. I remember I was in a conversation with Lake Elder in terms of our brand, building our brand. And when he spoke for like 40 minutes, I saw all my problems in this conversation. So you want to work with professionals to help you see and navigate that curve. Then number 2, you want to work with the right team. The right team is not the combination of similar individuals. It has to be dissimilar individuals. So everybody can bring different parts to the table. Don't just employ your kind. That person you don't like might be the person you need. that you need that difference, So, and employ for the future. Employ for the future. I want to assume that you're trying to build multiple things at the same time and all that. One of the things I recommend is to build one first. You master that. You have a name to that one. Once you have a name, building becomes easy.
All right, so Divine, the lady there.
Thank you very much, sir. So, with what you just said to him, build one first. I'm currently pursuing my master's in nursing science. Before I arrived at nursing science, I had an issue picking which one I wanted to do because I have a love for mothers and babies. So I was thinking public health. But I spoke to someone higher up in public health, and she was like, public health is, how about you be a master of your nursing, since it's something you love? And I'm currently on that, but the courses, leadership, it's like leadership in nursing, I'm fine with that, but I'm trying to get more on maternal and child health, right? But when I speak to my dean, they're like, you need to build, I don't know, just plenty English, right? And like, I don't know what to do. Initially, I told her that I would love to go to a hospital and just work for free in the maternal and child health section. But she was like, build yourself, get a master's while you do that simultaneously. Which one do I, like, which one do I?
Why didn't you go into midwifery?
So I'm already a midwife. I have a midwife certificate.
Okay,
yes, but
okay.
you can't do master for nursing. You have to do masters in nursing, then specialize in midwifery. But
Yeah.
the school I'm currently doing it at, it's combined with leadership courses. Masters is like an.
So the school is the limitation. See the school as what you need to take their program to get to a level of authority while you still pursue further. But since he's here, that's what he does in the academics world, so he can also say something. You want to help?
All right. It's a bit interesting because Nigerian landscape in terms of academia is totally different from what you have in the rest of the world. Oh, London. Beautiful. So what I would say to you is, so for programs or what we call degree awarding institutions, there's a philosophy that drives the institution. So perhaps the goal of the College of Nursing, where you're doing your master's, is to raise more nurses that are going to take up leadership roles in the nursing field, not necessarily the folks who will be on the field, but folks who will drive policies, folks who will inform the practices of nursing in the country. That's their philosophy. And that's how institutions should run. Just that, the idea we have in Nigeria is, school is just established for any. So there's a philosophy. So you must understand that first before even delving into it in the first place. But now that that you're in the program, this is my own advice. I think you should stay there, do your program. You may not understand why, but trust me, it's a blessing. Because you already have field experience in midwifery. You need the policy knowledge too. And trust me, you won't end up with masters. I'm hoping to hear when you get your PhD application form. Yeah. Hope that helps.
Thank you so much. So let me ask, I'm still going to call us, please. So let us move to the next session now. And I'll just ask, what is the most uncomfortable truth that people need to understand, need to accept about wealth? The most that people need to accept about wealth.
Interesting. Don't do what you love. Do what works. You know, there's a way we prioritize emotions as if. See, guys, let's just be honest with ourselves. The training that the child of the man who is trying to rise receives in life is different from the training that the children of the whales receive. We're in the same earth, but different worlds. So different. That's the reason why you can put something online and people convulse, because you're not speaking their language. And it's not their fault. It's just what they are used to. But that's the truth, guys. You've got to have the discipline to do what has the capacity to produce. So my own philosophy is I do what I have to do. Does it matter how I feel? And of course, not everybody will be wealthy, but we'll all survive. That's the truth.
Wow. Now, the final question for tonight. Oh, okay. Let me say the final question.
I can take two more.
Thank you. So, how do you build business? How do we build business that outlive us?
First, depending on where you're coming from. You were not born into one. So, beyond home training, you need to be mentored. I recommend possibly by those who are building something like that. The reason why everything we build is just for us is psychological. And if you look at our society, you see that that's the way it's structured. We don't have a Nigerian dream that the next president is obligated to follow. There's no Nigerian dream. There's no blueprint. If you want to really understand what I'm saying, go see what Donald Duke did in Cross River, the Ogudu, and look at what it is now. Well, we may blame the next governor after him, but sometimes if you know that a fool may replace you, you've got to institutionalize what you're doing. You've got to make it in a way that is beyond the person. You want to build transgenerationally? Automate. That's the best. Automate. If you have to do everything yourself before it works, you walk till you die.
Okay, I said two questions. Let me ask the last. But let me just ask the last question now. This is, if your generation of leaders fail, what will be the consequence in the next 5 years? What are the consequences in the next 5 years?
I mean, I don't think a fruit falls far from the tree. We're just going to have a perpetual continuation of what we have now. Imagine that in another 20 years, we're still dealing with this. Two things I will leave you with.
Thank you.
And I say this, I mean no disrespect. I'm just saying this just for the room. Nigeria doesn't have a template of fighters or sacrificial leaders, I'm sorry. But go check. Check other countries. You go to South Africa, you see stories of Shaka Zulu, and you go to Kenya, you see the Mau Maus, you see pictures of resistance. Maybe again, the reason why I can sit here and say we don't have such stories is because our history has been edited. Anyone who edits your history doesn't want you to know when you are repeating it. So we don't, it's the reason why, despite the fact that we know what we can do to end this rubbish, nobody's going to lead in doing it because we don't have inspiring stories. Traore can do what he's doing because of a man called Thomas Sankara. Leadership is sacrifice. So I will take your question as, what will the future look like if my generation failed to sacrifice, to be a generation of slavery? And I think the least we can sacrifice is our reputation. Why are you addicted to being understood? Why does it bother you that what you're doing will be understood in another 20 years, and for now you may be counted as a fool? Why are we so concerned about being celebrated now? Where is that now thing coming from? I wrote something, and I wrote out of a deep reflection. And until you are no longer afraid of being irrelevant, you'll be a slave for life. Thank you for having me here.
Please, can we appreciate Apostle? Thank you so much for coming. Please, can we stand up and can we appreciate Apostle one more time?